Online Family Storytime. Miss Katie here, excited to start another story time with you. So let's jump right in. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. It's time to say hello. Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back to Online Family Storytime. I'm so excited for you to join me this week. But just a warning, this is our last one for the month. And then we're going to take a little break this winter, and we'll be back in February, though. So, a little break, get everything situated, and then we'll be back in February. But we still have a whole story time ahead of us, so let's get started and see what the mail carrier brought us today. Oh, I can't get it, it's stuck. There we go. Ooh, that is a beautiful winter scene. Do you see all the snow, cold, the beautiful evergreen trees? You know why they're called evergreen trees? Because they stay green even in the winter. You know, the other trees, they lose their leaves and then they come back in the spring. Well, evergreen trees stay green all seasons. So that's a little fun fact for you. So we have a winter wonderland. Winter wonderland. It's not quite winter yet, but it's going to be with the winter solstice. That is on December 21st this year. So winter solstice means that it's going to be the longest night of the year. And then, from then on, the days start getting longer again. So the sun is creeping up and the earth's tilting back, and we're eking towards spring. So the winter solstice on December 21st will be the longest night of the year, the shortest day of sunlight. And then we'll start getting more and more sunlight every day. So something to look forward to. Next, a glass of water. Water. Winter. This in here. I also have a whale. That is a whale. Did you know that whales are mammals, even though they live in the ocean? They are. They have to breathe air just like we do. We can't breathe underwater, can we? Like fish can, because they have gills and they get the oxygen from the water. But mammals, like us and whales, have to breathe air. But whales are so big, they have giant lungs, and they go up to the surface, they take a deep breath, and then they hold their breath, and then they dive super deep, and then they can get sperm whales who hunt for squid. They can dive deep and hunt for squid. Then there's blue whales, and they eat krill, which is teeny tiny. They're like little shrimp almost. They're teeny tiny, and they just kind of suck them in. So, but they're all down deep, and so they can hold their breath for a long time while they look for their food. They're pretty amazing creatures, actually. They make the most beautiful songs. So, we have a whale, we have water, and we have winter wonderland. What a bunch of wonderful pictures, or wonderful words. I'm using a lot of one letter. Which letter do you think it could be? Let's hear your guesses. W. It's a tricky letter because the W sound that it makes is not the sound in its name. That's another clue for you. But I hear a lot of the right answers anyways. So are you ready? You ready to shout out our guess? All right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. W. W is our letter this week. W. See how it makes a w sound in words, but it's called a w. It's kind of because it makes 2 loops. It looks more like a double V to me. But I didn't invent the alphabet, so I suppose whoever did can name it. What a wonderful letter. Let's put it on the letter tree. There it is. Our W is on our letter tree. Look, it looks like an upside down M. M and W look very similar, don't they? They do. It looks like you took your M and it went floop, and then it's a W. Pretty neat. All right, are you ready for our alphabet song? I know I am. Here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? Bravo, friends, bravo. You are so good at that. So impressed. And now I think you know what time it is. It's time for our book. First, I have to hear the song. All right, here we go. If you're ready for a story, go and clap your hands. Clap your hands. Clap your hands. If you're ready for a story, go and clap your hands. Clap your hands. If you're ready for a story, go and stomp your feet. Stomp your feet. Stomp your feet. If you're ready for a story, go and stomp your feet. Stomp your feet. If you're ready for a story, go and nod your head. Nod your head. Nod your head. If you're ready for a story, go and nod your head. Nod your head. If you're ready for a story, go and sit so still. Sit so still. Sit so still. If you're ready for a story, go and sit so still. Sit so still. Wonderful. It looks like you're all sitting oh so still and ready for our story. Our story today is Little Fern's First Winter, and it's written and illustrated by Jane Simmons. "The snow is coming," said Mama Rabbit. "What snow?" said Fern. "It's lovely, fluffy stuff when it settles, but very, very cold," said Mama. "Go play with Bracken while I change the hay." Fern and Bracken hopped and flipped and giggled together. "Let's play hide and seek," said Fern. "I'll hide first." "And I'll count," said Bracken. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fern looked for somewhere to hide. All the birds were swooping and chattering. "The snow is coming. We must fly away," they squawked. "Can I hide in your tree?" asked Fern. "No, the snow is coming. We need the tree for our nuts," said Squirrel. So Fern hopped on. "Can I hide in your nest?" Fern asked the mice. "The snow is coming. We need to sleep in our nest to stay warm," they said. "Can I hide with you?" she asked the beetles. But they just crept away. Fern couldn't find anywhere to hide.
Found you, shouted Bracken, and they hopped and flipped and giggled together. Now it's your turn to hide, said Fern, and she started to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm coming, she shouted. Everything was quiet in the woods. There were no birds in the sky, no squirrels in the trees, no mice in the grass, no beetles under the leaves, and no bracken anywhere. Fern went down the burrow under the ground. Mama, have you seen Bracken? Asked Fern. No, dear, said Mama Rabbit. I've been changing the hay. So Fern went up the burrow and outside again. Bracken, where are you? Said Fern. A chill wind whistled through the silent woods. Fern shivered. Bracken, she called. Something cold and soft melted on her nose. Bracken! The whole woods had changed. Was this snow? Where are you, Bracken? Shouted Fern again. Bracken! Fern! Came a faint cry from deep in the snow. It sounded like Bracken. Fern dug and dug and dug. And there at last was Bracken. What's happening? He said, trembling. I think the snow has come, said Fern. Mama says it's lovely when it settles. So they huddled up as close could be until it stopped snowing. Then they hopped and flipped and giggled in the fluffy cold snow. Fern, Bracken, called Mama Rabbit, time to come in. And that night they all curled up as close could be in the warm, soft hay.
What a fun little story about Fern and Bracken's first winter. How do you feel about snow and winter? Do you like playing out in the snow? You do? What do you do out in the snow? Make snowmen, build forts, make snow angels, have snowball fights. There's a lot of fun things you can do in the snow, isn't there? But you have to make sure you're wearing the right clothes, because bunnies have fur to keep them warm. We don't have any fur, do we? No, we just have hair on our heads. We need to wear clothes so we can be out in the cold weather. You have to wear the right clothes also. You have to wear your mittens, and you have to wear your hats, and your coats, and your snow pants, and your boots. And then you should be warm enough to play in the snow. When it's really cold, you need to wear a scarf also. And make sure you wear the right clothes underneath that too. You can't wear shorts and a t-shirt and then put on your snow pants and coat. You'll still be chilly. You have to wear your long pants and a long sleeve shirt or a sweatshirt. Make sure you're bundled up in warm layers. Well, speaking of being prepared for the weather, I have a little song for you about a spider who was not prepared for the weather, and the rain washed it right down the water spout. So here comes our water with a W. It's called the Itsy Bitsy Spider, and I'm sure you know what to do. But let's get our Itsy Bitsy Spiders ready. You ready? Take your hands and flip like this. All right, so here we go. The Itsy Bitsy Spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain, and the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. I like that song. It's a short one though. Let's do it again. Spider's ready. Here we go. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain, and the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. Oh, good job. Great spiders. I love singing songs with you. And my friends, that's the last one for this story time. Like I said, we're going to take a little break for the holidays, and then we'll be back in February to do more songs, more stories, and more crafts. Speaking of crafts, I have a fun one today that is making our own whale with its own water spout. So I think it's a fun one. So stay tuned after our goodbye song. But here we are, saying goodbye, our last story time this session. But don't worry, like I said, we'll be back soon, before you know it. Here we go. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. It's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, friends. I love spending story time with you, and I'll see you again very soon. Until then, see you later, alligator. In a while, crocodile. Not too soon, baboon. Bye-bye, butterfly. Here we are, ready to start on our whale craft. We are going to use a sheet of blue construction paper, some white paper, and we'll need glue, scissors, pencil, black marker. Okay? Easy peasy. First, take your piece of blue paper and fold it in half, like so. Easy enough, right? Now we're going to cut down that line. All right, there. See, it doesn't have to be perfect. No big deal. We're going to cut the ends off anyways. So next, we're going to make the tail. So to make the tail, I'm going to use my pencil. I'm just kind of going to make a tail. I'm going to start. I'm going to make a little bit of a V here, just to get an idea of where I want it to go. So I'm kind of going to have it do this deal. All right, so that's just my rough, like I said, it can just look however you think a whale tail should look. Go ahead and look it up on the internet or even in a book. There are plenty of books with whales in them, aren't there? Yes, I believe there are. Wow, Miss Katie, where would I get a book like that? I think at your local library. That would be a great place to get a book. Oh, Miss Katie. All right, so there. Boop, I got some on the table. Good thing it's my craft table and it's okay. All right, so there we go. A little bit of a tail. Now I'm going to just kind of do this for the body. All right. No big deal. There we go. That looks like a bunny rabbit's ears, doesn't it? Kind of. Now we're going to cut it out right here.
There we go. Now we have our tail part. Now this is going to be the bottom. I'm going to fold this part like this. That's where I'm going to attach the top. It's going to kind of curve over like this. But you say, hey, Miss Katie, I don't like all these pencil marks on my whale. If you don't, you can always erase them, but as we know, that usually just makes more of a mess. Or you can flip it over. There you go. No marks. In that case, I'd have to refold my paper there. All right, so the bottom part is done. Now let's do our top part. So here for the top, we want it to bend, so it's going to be a 3D whale. So this is going to start here. We're going to glue that later, but right now we're just going to measure. So we're going to measure how big we want our hump. See, it's going to be like this. So it comes to about the end of the tail there. So now I'm just going to let go like this. See where it is there? I'm going to flip this part over like this. And now, take a pencil and just mark where that goes, okay? So you have your extra up here, that's going to be the hump. And you just kept that right there, and you marked it out. So there we go. Now we're going to cut that. Scissors. And here we go. Just cutting where we traced the line. So it will match up. All right, there we go. There are our scraps. Now, same thing. This will be covered if you flip it over like that. Okay? Okay. Now, let's make his face. All right? All right, now we're going to make the mouth. I'm going to measure all the way across here. And probably up to there. That looks like a good size mouth. I'm just going to cut like so. Now we're going to put this on here like this. So let's measure where we want our mouth to go. I think maybe right there would be good. I think that's a little too tall. So I'm going to cut it down a little bit. Easy peasy. Yeah. There we go. All right, so let's measure again. It's gonna meet there. I want the teeth to be there. And it's gonna be up like that. Yep, looks good. All right, but I called these teeth. But you know that all whales don't have teeth? Some whales do. Some whales do, and they hunt prey like fish and squid and things. But other whales have what's called baleen. Now that is a bunch of very fine filters that are made up of the same thing that our fingernails and our hair is made up of. So it's kind of like they have a bunch of like floss almost in their teeth, and it helps them filter out the animals, the tiny, tiny sea creatures they're eating. So I think I'm going to make this one a baleen whale, because blue whales are baleen whales, and so are humpback and gray whales. There's a lot of different whales actually. More than Miss Katie can think of right now. But I'm just going to take the pencil and draw all the teeny tiny fine filtration system known as baleen on my blue whale. So here we go. Lots of teeny tiny ones, because remember, they're not teeth. They're not hairs necessarily, but they're much thinner and more flexible than teeth are. Like I said, it's a filtration system for catching their food. All right, so there is my whale's baleen set. And whales need eyeballs, so let's cut out some eyeballs. I'm gonna make them, let's see, we can make them bigger, and then if they're too big, we can always make them smaller, can't we? So, in my circle. That seems a little big for me. I'm gonna make them a little smaller. You can make yours any size you want, or you can just draw yours right on the paper. You don't even have to cut the whites out. It's up to you. As you know, you get to make your crafts however you want to because it's your special creation. All right, I'm feeling that a little more. So I'm gonna put my glue on. First, I have to make sure they go in the right spot. So let's measure. Get the bottom. And I'm going to attach it here. That's where it's going to end up getting glued. Or taped. It might be stronger to tape it. But I'm going to measure right there. So right about there, I think, would be a good spot for an eyeball. All right. There's one. There's the other. And if you have googly eyes at home, you can always use a googly eye because you know how I love a googly eye. But I'm just going to use a black marker to color in my eyes. There we go. Eyeballs. Now it's time to make the spout. For the spout, I'm going to take my paper. I'm just going to cut that in half there. Doesn't really matter how big you cut your paper because it's the size that you want it. But what we're going to do is we're going to roll it up like this. And then we're going to cut here. So it's going to be all like that. So we don't need all this because that's really thick for no reason. So we're just going to measure it. We're going to roll it around once. So there's enough to overlap so we can attach it. That looks good to me. Take my scissors. Watch your fingers. You can always mark it with a pencil so you don't chop your fingers off. I think that'd be a good idea. All right, now we're going to cut a bunch of teeny tiny strips in here, like so. See how it's a teeny tiny one? Now you're only going to do that about halfway down, okay? So we're going to do a bunch of those. Let's go, fast forward style. All right, so now we have all our strips cut out. And we're going to roll it back up. Now you can glue it, but I think I'm going to tape mine. I'm going to tape it up to the top because we have to cut the bottom part to get it to attach to the whale. So here we go. There we go. Now this is going to be the spout, the water spout for my whale. And you can kind of bend these guys down like this so it looks more like water coming out. See, that kind of fun? So now we're going to cut the bottom just in a couple places though, not as little as we did this one. We're just going to cut it so we can bend them and attach it to our whale's head. Well, our whale is not proportionate to regular body size, so. But the spout is at the top, and that is the blowhole where they actually get their oxygen from the air when they come up to breathe. As you remember, whales breathe air, not oxygen through the water, but through the air. All right, so I'm going to attach this to the top, but first I'm going to double check where this is going to go. Like so. Like so. All right, that's where it's going to go. All right, you can glue it or tape it. I think tape's a little sturdier, but if you like the look of glue, it's up to you. But you need some pretty sturdy glue. Ooh, knocking over my glue stick. Some pretty sturdy glue to get it to stay, but it'll work if you have the right glue. So I'm just doing this because I don't have time for it to dry for you. So there we go. Our spout is attached. Now I'm going to attach this part. So you can do it either here or back here like this. If you do it like this, you can hide your tape. Again, you can glue it. But oftentimes I find that tape is more sturdy for certain projects, and this is one of those projects. All right, we're almost done. I'm going to line it up here. Again, you could just glue underneath here, or you can just take a bit of tape and tape it. So if you tape it, it's going to be a big one like that. And if you glue it, you can glue it down like this more, or you can use a stapler. Or you can do the fun little where you take and turn it around and make a little tape donut and stick it underneath here and then stick it together like that. Pretty sneaky, eh? But there we go. Our whale of a project with his little water spout, baleen. I think it's a pretty cute one. So we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.